Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den. Now, a couple of videos ago, I did one on the library book sale. And this is the book that I already had. I bought it off of Amazon or eBay or somewhere. And then this is the one I got at the book sale, the same book. And I wanted to take one of them apart. But I was noticing in the newer edition, the pages are not sewn in, they're glued in. So I'll keep this one here as my reference book, because gorgeous pictures. So that one I'm going to set aside. But this one, the older edition of it, when I opened it up, I can see that it's actually sewn in because I can see the stitches going down. See, I marked some of them. I'm not sure if you can, maybe you can see it better on this page. The little white things, those are actually the threads where it was sewn together. So this is the one I'm going to take apart. And I move out all of these things now. When you're taking a book apart, because I want to use the cover for a junk journal, but I want to maintain some of these, especially the double pages, because, those are simply gorgeous. And I've marked some of them with index cards. But when you're having a book that you're going to take apart, one thing you need to notice is, or look for, is there a hole here? It's going to make it a lot easier cutting this part out if it's not glued down. However, if it is, then what I do is I try to ease it up some, and then I'll get a bone folder or something to release the glue all the way down. So I didn't have to do it with this one. Now, a few of the things you're going to need, especially if your pages are sewn in, you're going to need a seam ripper because you're going to have to loosen those threads. So we have that. Now, you can either use a craft knife, a very sharp pair of scissors, and because you've only got a little area there to cut through. And sometimes if there's material holding it, you'll still need your scissors. What I prefer to use is this little box cutter. One, because the blade isn't very long, I can hold it quite well. And I have a lot more control with this than I do with the others. Now, where you're going to start cutting is right along the edge here. As you notice, if I peel that back, I've got more sheets coming with it. Now, I can actually come in here and cut, but I'm not worried about losing the flap, mainly because somebody had written on it. So what I'm going to do is just very gently get in here and start a downward cut. Now, it may take you several times to get through, but you need to be very careful you're not cutting this part of your book. So what I do is I like to spread this apart some and then just run my knife down very carefully. Now, if it's like this and it's very difficult to get your hands in there, then what you can use is I'll use my other little bone folder. Come in here, and that way I'm not risking cutting my fingers. I'll bring it down some more, cut a little bit farther, bring it down, and be very careful when you do this, because when you are using a sharp instrument, and you want to be very careful and not cut yourself or cut into a part of the book that you actually want to save. I'm going to run right on down this way. No, it's not. And you will run into, different issues coming in and trying to cut. I'm sorry if I get my head in the way, but it's kind of hard to see here. Now, see how I got it down this way? No. So I'm going to come up this side. And sometimes you have to turn your book several different ways to get it going here. But the whole idea is to get the signatures out. Let's try this way. Okay, now I can see where my problem is. So I come right on down here. It looks like I was actually getting into the signature of the book, maybe. So let me switch to my scissors, see if I can correct that, because it's hard to see on camera. So I may have gotten into it. We'll find out. There we go. I think I did. Okay, one side down. So once you get one side off, the other side is really quite easy because you can peel the whole thing back this way and actually see where you're cutting at. Now I've got my hands, you know, not right up there. So, like I said, it's hard to see off to the side. I try to be right on top of these while I'm doing them, but for the sake of getting it on camera, I just tear that off. Now, I'm not worried about the fly paper here, the backing, because that will get covered up when I put my other signatures in it. But there, I've got a wonderful hardcover with the spine intact. You know, there's been no, you know, cutting into that part, so that's good. So I'm going to set this aside for now. Then we deal with this part. Now, this has the pieces that were glued on, and all I'm going to do is get some of this off of here, top and bottom, because I want to see where the individual signatures are. Okay, here's one. Now in this one, what I found is that, put that in the trash, move my scissors out the way, clean up this area a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, is most of the time, if it's a double page, you know, double picture page, that's usually been an indication of the center of a signature. So this is where I want to come in with my seam ripper. And I'm going to try to pick up just the individual threads that have been sewn together here. Now this is not an easy task because it is so, they're sewn quite securely. And you got to get it up under there without damaging the paper, which isn't doing very good for me right now. So let me see what I've got in my drawer here to help. I have a very dull blunted knife, and all I'm going to do is try to get under that thread. There we go. And then come in here with my seam ripper and cut it. And then I'll go down to the next one. Like I said, this is not easy, but it's well worth the time and trouble. All right, there was one. Another one should be here. It's always, sometimes it's good you have You know, something thin like this that you can use. It's not actually cutting. Raise that up. Where's the next one? Oh, that one just popped. That's good. Now let me see if I can, and you see how it will, you can come under here and actually remove the pages. I'm gonna come back here and pop these little seams. I said you gotta be very, very careful. Let me see if I can actually use just the very, very tip of my craft knife here. See, well, I can't see where the thread is. Oh, that's not gonna work. So let's open this back up. And we'll go at it again this way. Is there? Yeah, there was one there. That's why. So pull that up, snap that one. I think I have that one already. Oh, yep. And there is the page. All in one piece. You see you have the backgrounds. And what I can do at this point is pull, hopefully it will release the other page. Well, no, that's another signature. All right, so I'll find the middle of this one somewhere. Or will I? Because those came off. Yep. So it seems like the signatures are not as big as I thought. So I've got 4 pages per signature. So now I've got to do is go through the rest of the book and cut my strings, and hopefully that will release those. Now I have on other books been able to remove the backing entirely and then able to cut the strings through the back, which is a lot easier, but that's not going to be the case with this one. So what I'll do is I'll end up going through, cutting all the rest of the strings, and then I will have all of these pages that I can put in my folder that I have with originals. And by that I mean these are pages that I can put in my copier and just print them out. I don't have to rely on, having my laptop's on the fritz. So yeah, my laptop, my electronics evidently don't like me this month. But then I'll have all of these great pages that I can simply stick in my copier and have them anytime I want. So hopefully this will help you when it comes time that you feel you want to gut a book. And even if you don't have one that you want to keep as an original state, what you can do after you've cut them is simply take your pages and just tear them off, and you're able to use them in your junk journals or anywhere you need them. And it's just that simple. I like that color. I may turn it wrong side up. Like I said, somebody did write on it. And this paper here is just, it's the heavier weight at the beginning of the book, but the patina on this is just awesome. So got a lot of material here to work with, and it can be done like this with any type of hardback book that you want to use. If you like what I've shared with you today, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll be notified in upcoming videos. So that's all for now. Bye guys.